Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another review. The subject of this one is this. This is the 1/24 scale Spitfire Mark 14 conversion from Laminar Flow Designs. Now, Matthew at Laminar Flow Designs is a channel sponsor, as you saw from the intro, and he very kindly sent me this full review, as a lot of the projects he has sent me, but I have, put my hands in my pocket and I have spent quite a lot on his website as well. Now, the kits I've done so far is I've done two 1/48 scale Mark 14 conversions with the Edward kits, the bubble top and the Razorback. I've also in 32nd scale done the Mark 12, and yeah, so pleased with how that turned out. Absolutely beautiful. And just up there and coming very soon to the channel is going to be the 32nd version of this. The review I'll stick at the end so you can go and watch that if you haven't seen it already. And what I will do is I will pull that down off the shelf, and just so you can see the size difference, compare the sizes with this one. Really comprehensive. As you can see, two markings options on the front. We'll have a look at that when we open up. And it's quite a hefty box, actually. You can see it's not small, and yeah, really looking forward to delving into the box and seeing what we have. Matthew says that he's obviously learnt along the way, and there's been a few tweaks to this compared to the 32nd scale version. He's very proud of what he's produced, and so he should do as well, because it looks stunning. So without further ado, let's nip over to the bench and have a look at see what all the fuss is about. Welcome to the bench. This is quite a big box, actually. It's quite heavy. So let's open her up. Right, instructions. So colour photocopy or colour print. You can see this is very much cottage industry. That sounds like a derogative term. It absolutely is not. It's just the nature of the beast. We'll go through that in a moment. Here are the markings in the vinyl. And what I love about what Matthew's done here is he's made the surrounds the same as the panel lines, so you can get it lined up absolutely perfectly. I just think that's brilliant. There we go. There's the you can see the size of the wing roundels there. Absolutely lovely. That fantastic. So we put those to one side. Right, let's. You can see it is quite a dark grey. We'll have a look at the box contents in just a moment. Just take you through the instructions. Starts off with the parts map with obviously the two options here. The European one, that is one of the Belgian squadrons. I can tell you that now. And obviously with the Leaper. I'm not sure. There was definitely a Leaper option in the 32nd scale kit, and I'm pretty sure this was an option as well. I was going to say I thought that felt a bit thick. Right, more parts layouts. As you can see, starts off with some modifications. You are going to have to cut some of the fuselage out, as you can see here. But what I really like about this one is you keep the windscreen mount. In the 32nd scale one, Matthew would have you scratch build this bit out of plastic card, so you can actually glue the windscreen to the plastic card using plastic cement to try and avoid fogging. My suggestion was to keep this, or even have it in the resin and just use some kind of non-fogging super glue stuff. That would have been my solution, but I'm really pleased that that is still there. That's going to save you some work. Obviously cutting the top here to fit the new tail, and a slot into the rear fuselage. Some templates, and then we're into the cockpit. Some cockpit detail parts. These are the waffle guards. Some extra detail here for the I think this is priming pump or something. It sits just next to the landing gear gubbins. and all these levers here should move. And some photos of the real thing, which is really nice because you can add your own wiring that way. Really like that. Not red, people. Okay. The crowbar, that's post-war only. Right. There is an option to do the PR version, photographic reconnaissance, or the FR, I should say. I'm not going to do this on mine, but you have the option there, and I'll imagine this might be supplied as a separate conversion part anyway. For those of you who want a FR Mark 9, but that's really nice. The main part of the conversion here obviously is the nose. Two types of fin, wartime and post-war. They did put a bigger rudder on the post-war aeroplanes. Separate covers for the gun parts here. You could replace these with brass if you wanted to. That would be a bit more sturdy. This material tends to be a little bit brittle, but that's it. That is the conversion. So as you can see, it's actually fairly straightforward. Once you've detailed up your cockpit, you've got a bit of modification on the fuselage parts, but not too much. Just cutting out the fuel tank and modifying the tail, and that really is it. And everything else should be pretty much a drop fit. Slight difference here, I should mention, with the 32nd scale kit is these parts are supplied in resin here. But there we go. Absolutely wonderful, that. And here's your markings options. In fact, there's three, look. So this is the Far East version. You can really go to Weathering Town on this one. Beautiful. Under fuselage and wing D-Day stripes on this one. There you go, 350th Belgian Squadron, 1944. Love that. And this one, which this is your FR version here, 430 Squadron in 1945. That's an interesting option with the modified round doors there. And lots of notes, which is really cool. Love that. So there's the instructions. Right. Beautifully packaged, as you can see, in these cages. Right, I'm going to have to watch this back to put it all back in, I think. Definitely not moving around in the box, this lot. Right, I think we'll start with the nose. Obviously, here we are. Might be a little bit difficult to see in the cage. Now, I can just see some layer lines here. But honestly, under paint, you're not going to see that. I will paint mine with Alclad and then polish it back, because that's what I did on my 32nd scale one. That's just me being, you know, belt and braces. But you can see there the fastener detail, the rivet detail. And when you polish it back, if you're going to do that, you're not going to lose any. Separate scoop for the top there. The scoop's just in there. Exhausts, obviously hollow, hiding at the bottom there. But just look at that rivet and fastener detail. That is just beautiful. Now, I have just got out of shot the 32nd scale. And I just thought I'd bring this in just so you can see the difference in size. And what an absolute beast this is going to be in 24th scale. Slight different design where the fuel tank here is moulded in. But obviously this is a much bigger bit and he's got to fit it in the cages. So it's a separate part here. But you can see the lip. But there we go. That is the difference in size. A hefty piece of kit. I think you'll agree. Talking of hefty pieces of kit, look at that rudder. Massive, isn't it? separate tail fin, so you can see exactly how you're going to have to modify the kit parts. But, you know, I've done it in 48th. I'm about to do it in 32nd, and then when I do this, I should be well versed in how it all works. It's actually fairly straightforward. It's a bit scary, but it is fairly straightforward. Again, you can see that rivet detail. That is going to match the beautiful detail in the Airfix kit. And that fabric detail on the rudder. Just lovely. Okay, here's the other. Oh, this is actually quite heavy. This is the other fin. So you can see radiator parts, so you get separate flaps. The deep radiators, looks like your round exhausts are in this one. Again, buried at the bottom. That's not the spinner backplate. That is the mounting for the spinner that actually goes in the fuselage. Here's one of the templates. So you just slot that over. You can see how it's going to slot over the plastic part. Slot that over and just run your scribe around it. It's actually a very simple process. Some radiators actually buried in there. Can't actually see that detail. Now, obviously this is quite tightly packed in. So the way you're going to take this apart is just with some old snippers. You don't want to use your posh God hands or display ones or anything. But you're just going to snip away these parts, lift the cage off, and then just work outside in. This is your FR conversion, as you can see, just going on in there. So a beautiful camera. Now what you could do with that is, once you've painted it, just drop some of that UV clear resin stuff in there. Or you could just put a circle of acetate, either or. That's going to look lovely. Some more templates here. Here's your gun covers. Again, beautifully detailed. Look at the rivet detail on that. So that'll be your E-wing conversion with your short barrels there. And there's your fairings for the FR version. So you could even really do sort of two conversions in one, really. You could do your standard fighter Mark 14, and then if you've got a on your Mark 8 kit, and if you've got a Mark 9, you can use these FR bits to make an FR Mark 9. So there you go, there's a Billy bonus. Look at the size of that spinner. Looks hollow to me. And again, fastener rivet detail. Absolutely beautiful. There's your propeller blades in there. Now I want, how many did you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get a spare blade. If I can just going to try and tease that one out if I can, without breaking it. No, I don't want to break it. What I've got here is the 32nd scale blade, and you can just appreciate the difference in size there. It's going to be an absolute beast. And the last box is the cockpit parts. So with the instrument panel, you get this sort of male part here. So you can obviously paint this black and then put your dial decals on that. And obviously you're going to get those with the Airfix kit. So you put those on there, paint up the panel, drop it on. I might be tempted to punch out some clear acetate for the glass here. If I can get that to fit exactly, that's probably what I'll do. Otherwise, you can just use a bit of clear resin just in the holes here. Stick it on, whack it with the UV, job done. Right, the other parts, There's this sort of box thing. And then all the levers and gubbins. Again, beautifully detailed. You get some spares, there's a couple of throttles there. So again, if you manage it first time, you've got a few bits there to dress up your other Airfix kit. Absolutely stunning that. These are the waffle boards that you see just down in there. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. That's a lump in it. Lump and a half. I think you'll agree that this is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I'm not going to be building this for a while. I've got so many projects on, and the 32nd scale one has been sat in the stash for too long. So that's going to be the next on the bench. But I do want to do this next year. I'm filming this in July 25. There we are. That is the air scale. No, sorry, not air scale. What am I talking about? The Laminar Flow Design 124 scale Mark 14 conversion. Let's have a wash up back at the chair. Okay, there we are. That is the Laminar Flow Designs 124 scale Spitfire Mark 14 conversion. There we go. I think you'll agree, definitely on par, at least with Matthew's other 48 scale and 32nd scale conversions. I really hope we see more. I'd love to see a Mark 12 in certainly 48th and 24th as well. Wouldn't that be good? Maybe a bubble top conversion for the Airfix Spitfire as well, so you could get some of those and a Mark 18 out maybe. Would be really, really nice as well. So many different options that he can go down. I'd really like to see some 72nd scale stuff as well. Wouldn't that be nice? But there we are. 24 scale then, pretty huge. Looking forward to the project. As I said in the intro, won't be for a little while yet, but I'm determined to do this at some point in the future. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned on the channel for certainly the 32nd scale project, which will be coming very soon, and then in due course this 24 scale one. So thanks very much. I'll see you then. Cheers. Bye bye.